Welcome, everybody, to Business Mastery Live Wednesdays. Good to see you. Good to be with you. And welcome again. We're going to get this thing rolling. We're going to get started here. Let me turn off this music real quick, guys. All right. So, today's a unique day because we're coming up on the last few days, really a couple of weeks of the quarter for 2023. Wow, this year has gone by really fast. I remember starting off this year and talking about, man, how fast it was going in January, all the way through that first quarter, and we're already closing up on a really powerful year. 2023 has been a year of growth for a lot of people, myself included. I was on a conversation with my son. He just turned 23 in 23, and he was saying that this year, Dad, it was a year of growth for me. Culminating that 23rd year, and I want you to realize that these moments in life that we consider and reflect are the moments that really create life powerfully for you and me. So take that time to think about where you are this year in 2023. We have the last quarter of the year coming up. So how are you going to finish this year? That's the conversation that you want to be inside of. How are you going to finish out 2023 strong? What's going to be the big difference maker coming up this year for you? Sit there and contemplate that stuff, guys. I'm telling you, I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking at what it is that's going to level up inside of a business and life for me. And I've been doing that all year long. And I keep seeing things move in a trajectory that's just on the up and up as a result of that. Okay. But look, we're going to get started, guys. We're going to get started with this webinar. So here we go. Welcome, 10-Figure Business Mastery. Woo! God love that. God love that, man. 10-Figure Business Mastery. And live webinar Wednesdays, always coming at you 10 a.m. Eastern time on a Wednesday. And this is me, just in case you did not know. Justin Bulgin. I'm the senior consultant over here and founder of By the Books Consulting, your accounting superhero. You can reach us at 888-4BTB-NOW. 888-4BTB now. That's 888-428-2669. You can reach out to us for anything accounting, QuickBooks, tax, or operations consulting related. Okay. So if you didn't know, we help companies, small businesses like you, entrepreneurs like you, with their organization inside of their accounting structures, making sure they're really tracking the financial story of their business throughout the year. So they're not in a frantic disposition come tax time or come time to dish out documents, financial statements to your lenders to make sure that you have what you need in terms of clarity to make strong decisions inside of your business. And if you can't really see those decisions for yourself, we are there for you to lean on. That's what we do. QuickBooks, we're a beast. We're QuickBooks beasts in these streets. All right, we just know how to navigate that technology very well, and so well that I'm a pro advisor, lead pro advisor with that software, and yeah. So you want to make sure you are getting with me. I'll talk about that a little bit more so later. I was going to get into it now, and I'm just deciding just to get to it later. We got some things down the pipe coming up for you guys to take advantage of in that area, and of course we do the strategic tax planning and all the tax compliance services like the filing of your income tax and everything else, payroll tax and all that too. All right. Quick disclaimer before we get started, as always, this is the following is for educational purposes only and is not to be considered financial, accounting, or legal advice. Please consult your tax, accounting, and or legal professional for specific advice. And if you want to forward the conversation with things that are relevant to you, things that you've been thinking about, you just don't know how to execute on these things, or you don't know how to put it together, you haven't really been clear in this area, you can always reach out to me directly, either via email. That's my email address. You can also reach out to us on LinkedIn or IG at Your Accounting Superhero, and we'll actually add that to our conversation. So 10-figure business mastery, we have tenets that we stand on. These are the pillars of our group here. Number one is intentionality, which is mindset mastery. Number two is financial mastery, also known as financial literacy. Three, structures, which is also known as system mastery. Last but not least, we have actions, which is also known as execution mastery. All right, we have all these things in line, then you have no other option but to succeed at what you're doing and level up at what you're doing. Conversation is financial literacy. What you can measure. There's a thing that we say here: what you can measure, you can manage, and what you can manage, you can master. What you can measure, you can manage. What you can manage, you can master. So we're going to continue that talk today. Before we get into that, guess what, people? Guess what? We don't do this too often. We haven't done this since, I believe, March. March was the last time we did this, and people got a lot of value out of this boot camp. We got a superhero boot camp coming up on October 8th. Time to end all confusion and eliminate frustration with QuickBooks for yourself as an entrepreneur. If you ever experienced that with your QuickBooks, you just really think it's something that's robust, it's confusing, you get lost in the software, you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do. A lot of times when you're working it for your business, there's some things in there that just don't make sense to you, like why do my balances not really match my balances in real life? What's going on? Why does it say I made so much more money and I really didn't? I can't submit this to my tax person because they're going to end up having me owe more in taxes than I need to owe. How do I fix it? How do I resolve it? There are so many things in there that can go awry if we don't understand how to leverage the technology. Technology in and of itself, I find, is a fantastic tool. Now, the issue is, how do we use that for our business in a way that works for us individually? What do you want to use that thing for? Right? So it is a tool, and I love tools. I love tools because they help leverage. Look at how some of you guys have mechanics in automotive mechanics businesses. You know that you want to have the right tool for the right job. There's some wrenches, the extra long wrench you get that gives you that leverage to break open and crack that nut. If you didn't have that tool, it would have been an impossible job to do, or take you extra long time. You'd need some extra help or something. It would be a nightmare for you, time-wise and energy-wise. But if you have the right tools in place, if you have the right tool, it can make the job a whole lot easier. You have a lot more leverage. You can do more with a lot less, is what I want to say. So QuickBooks is similar to that. You can do a whole lot more with a lot less effort if you understand how to use a tool. Now, just like anything, like even mechanics, like what we're talking about, they go to school to learn how to be technicians and use the tools in the way that they are designed. Well, Intuit, QuickBooks, they design these software so that they're user-friendly for the entrepreneur, not just for accountants and people that have degrees in this area of finance and accounting, but they really designed this tool for the common entrepreneur, the business owner, to be able to use it to run their business and present accurate and up-to-date financial reporting and see exactly how their business is doing from a financial perspective. Now, if you find yourself not being able to utilize that in an easy and effective way to run your business, then you want to make sure you're in this boot camp to eliminate all of that confusion, right? And eliminate all that frustration, extra time, and apprehension around the software to create clarity and ease. So you can have time and efficiency through automation, systems to scale, numbers that make sense, everything that your lenders need. Always be timely with your tax filing so you're compliant. Never ever feel as though you're behind the ball again. Always stay on top of your financial position in your business so you can make really strong pivots. All of that is available through being able to understand how to use this technology for your business. You can sign up and register for that boot camp. This is a $69 boot camp entry fee. We're doing that to make sure that the environment is what it's designed to be inside of that call. It's going to be a powerful boot camp like nothing else that you ever attended. This is not a typical QuickBooks training, okay? This is a superhero boot camp training, right? So this is going to give you things that are going to help you propel your business to the next level inside of this boot camp. All right. So youraccountingsuperhero.com/QBO bootcamp registration. Go there and sign up now. If you're watching this, go there, sign up now, register for that now before that fills up. We will be closing the doors on that when it reaches a certain amount so that we maintain the integrity of what we're looking to create inside of that environment. Okay. So go there. Don't miss out. All right. So today's talk really, we talked about what you can measure, you can manage, what you can manage, you can master. And it really deals with understanding reality. I was on a conversation the other day with somebody and they were looking to throw in the towel with their business because of some issues they were having cash flow wise. They just didn't know how they were going to make ends meet. Really in a nutshell, in the long and short of it, overwhelm is showing up. It's just too much right now to deal with. Working so hard, paying everybody else, and he doesn't have much to show for himself at the end of the day, and it's a constant, grind is what it is. Some of you can relate to that. When you're doing everything that you're doing out here in business, and it seems as though, man, what am I getting for all the effort that I put in? I don't want to live into this future where I'm constantly working and everybody else but me gets the benefits of my hard work. So this is what he was dealing with. And, he was like, man, I'm just going to throw in the towel, do something else, get a job, something. I can't do it anymore. Want to throw his business away. And I heard it. I heard the pain. And I was like, hey, look, man, this is what I said. It's like, hey, it sounds like you might not be dealing in reality. And I'm saying this because we work on his financials. We know like the business, like what it does to a degree. And I said, hey, look, it sounds like you're dealing with a whole lot. You might not be completely in reality. And I told him this, I said, when I say reality, it's not something that is meant to be a demeaning or an insult. It's just the terminology that we use because a lot of people don't really deal in reality. We all, like most of us, you and I, we deal in terms of like how we process things in our head. And it's not necessarily based on the clarity of reality, like what's really out here. A lot of the times it'll be based on like the stress that I feel. And I know that I've been doing certain things and it occurs to me like this thing is never going to work. I'm tired of dealing with what I'm dealing with because these things are very, very real, right? The things that like we're dealing with are very, very real. Bills are coming. We're working hard and, economy is doing what it's doing. And, the vendors and the people that we deal with, they're doing what they're doing. That is real. And when we talk about reality, it's like, well, what's my North Star here? Number one. And how am I doing in relation to that? Where am I like directed inside of that right now? Now, the numbers give us a complete picture of that if we take a look. So his business, we looked at it, his business is actually performing relatively better than most, like performance-wise, on his scale. He's on a smaller scale, but on that small scale, it's like, man, the margins are looking really good. He's profitable, and the margins are like excellent for his business. So it's like a matter of just focusing on not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but solving all the other issues that he was dealing with so that everything works. We just need a point to focus on so that we can take an action that's based in reality. Okay. So a lot of this, you see this image here, a lot of times we deal with this stuff. Like there's a lot of things that we don't see clearly because we haven't put on the frames to see the complete clear reality. And we do a lot of talk here about financial literacy and understanding how to track your financials and do those things financially for your business. All those things come down to one specific outcome, and this is it: to get a clear picture of the reality, because there's something that I want to create as a new reality, and I have to really continually be present to what the current reality is in relation to what that new reality is that I'm creating. So I need to be able to do this dance with reality in which I'm constantly looking to create this future reality based on what I want. And as I'm doing that, creating that future reality, I'm constantly present to where I currently am in the current reality in position to that future reality that I'm creating. What is it that really, what's the actual fact here in this situation? What am I really dealing with? What can I report without any interpretation? What is just so? That's what I'm looking at right now in terms of reality. So reality is not, well, I'm sitting here and paying everybody else but me. That's not a reality based terminology. That's an interpretation, expression of an interpretation. So how would that be stated in reality? Well, I generated 30,000 in the revenue this month. I was able to profit 6,200. Out of that 6,200, I paid out these amounts personally to these specific things, and I have $800 left over or $300 left over right now. Those are reality-based terms. And I'm hoping that you can hear the difference, because if you can hear that, and if you can stay with that, like 90% of the time, you will win in most everything in life. What I found is that a lot of us, myself included, we like to use interpretation-based expressions that are not really inside of reality. They're based on beliefs that we have. Let me say that again. For you and I, a lot of the times, we don't have expressions that are based in reality. Our expressions are a lot of the times based in our beliefs. So the difference is that what I believe and what is reality are not necessarily the same things. Beliefs are subjective. The reality is objective. Now, a lot of things especially today's culture, a lot of things may cause us to skew what the reality is, even like bringing subjective into objective, or making it seem as though subjective is objective, but there is no such thing. It's either one or the other, either subjective or objective. So we're looking to be in the objective point of view inside of reality. What is so? Is the light on or is the light off? Well, if there's brightness, then the light's on. If there's darkness, then the light's off. Reality. Right? Either I profited or I did not. Reality. Right? And profit basically means that I generated income at the end of everything I did operationally. I have an income from that, and not a loss from that. Okay? So hopefully that's clear. I'm staying here with this because even though this is a simple term, even though this seems ultra basic, a lot of us don't really live inside of this, and this is why we suffer. We suffer because we're always living inside of some type of interpretation of things instead of being based in reality of a situation. Which is why it's important for us to have systems like what we talked about, QuickBooks. We're doing that boot camp. That allows you to be in reality. And when everything else fails, you can come back to say, okay, what is it that I did? What is the objective truth here? Okay, I did this, 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 and this. And the next thing that I can do would be this thing. So we constantly want to look at those, is what I want to say. So we talk about being inside of reality. And then the last slide had somebody with the glasses to bring things into focus. Well, if the tools that I have or the systems that I have are not allowing me to measure the reality accurately, then I need to change my scale. I need to change what I'm using, my tool. Sometimes we're using scales that are broken. A lot of the time, this is what I see also inside of the systems that businesses have, especially small businesses and you entrepreneurs. The systems aren't necessarily working properly. You have a broken scale. So the first order of business is to make sure we have a scale that works to deliver the truth. It would be great if I had a scale that told me I weighed, you know, like 25 pounds less than what I did. And I walk around as if that were the reality, but that wouldn't be helpful. I'd still be unhealthy, right? If I if I had the tool that did not measure the reality into the to according to the truth. So your job, my job, is to be able to have the systems and the tools that are calibrated to measure the true reality of the situation, so that we can constantly do what we said we were going to do, which is bridge that gap to reality. Okay. So some people, this is how we typically do things. We just wonder, what to do. We don't know what to do. What's going on? It's like life is a mystery, right? We do this a lot of times, and we don't have to live this way if we are constantly dealing with the reality of the situation. Okay. We bridge gaps, guys. So what does bridging gaps look like? It looks like what we're talking about here. First and foremost, we need to get present to what it is. What's the reality of the situation? Where do we go from here? If based on the current reality and the reality that we're creating. So let's look at what these are distinctly. Here's what we want to do. Okay. So here's what we want to know. These are the things that you will want to know, to rely on, to fall back on, so that you can always be inside of reality. This is a daily practice. One, you want to maintain the clarity of purpose. What are you here for? What is your objective? What is your intention? If you don't have one, this wants to be created in clearly measurable terms. Now, the difference between the highly successful people in this world and the people who just don't get what they want at all is focus, or lack thereof. If I don't have a target, then I'm not going to be able to go toward it or move toward that target. Most most times and not, a lot of times, or often rather, I hear reactionary language, which means that people really know what they don't want when they see it. They understand what it is that they do not want, and it comes up as a complaint. I don't want this anymore. I'm done with doing this particular thing. I'm tired of I'm tired of being broke. And for many people who have money conversations, I'm tired of my relationships not working the way I want them to work. And I'm tired of dealing with all the same drama in my life. I'm tired of not really getting the things in life that I want. These are the things that I hear inside of language, which is an indicator that there is no focus. If you find yourself complaining about a situation, just know that most likely you're not being focused. You're out of focus. Not even most likely, it's guaranteed. You are not focused. So what is focus? It is giving yourself an intention or an objective that you always come back to. What am I here for? What am I here for? What is my purpose here? What am I up to in life? I'll come back to this. It wants to be clear. So what does that really look like? So if I have an objective for business, let's say I want to have, $250,000 in revenue this month inside a business. Well, that's a clear intention objective. I want to have 250,000 in revenue this month. That's the goal. That's the objective. 250,000 in revenue. Okay, what's that going to take? And we start breaking it down from there. We know like what that's going to look like out here, because now we can shift it and see it. I need to have this many customers come in. I need to do this much in sales per unit, and I need this many units in order to deliver that. Okay. Now, then we start looking at, okay, what offerings do we really have? Can we reframe some of these offerings that we have? Like maybe create another business unit that's high value, so that we don't have to do as much to deliver on that overall outcome, and we can make more of an impact. Right? You start asking those questions now. Now there's focus because all these, the conversation, the languaging, even you can just hear it in the language that I just gave you, that is more in line with a focus. I'm not talking about what the economy is doing. I'm not talking about what my sister-in-law said to me the other night. I'm not talking about any other thing but what it looks like to achieve the objective. I'm getting the vision clear. This is focus. And the ability for you to stay there with it for a long period of time is what separates you from those who don't achieve those results. You will achieve those if you can stay here with it and focus. So that's number one. We want to have an intention and wants to be clear. Once we have that, the next thing, now we want to look at where we are right now. Well, that's 250,000 a month we want to have in revenue. Right now, we're at zero. What? Oh, that's defeating. That can be defeating to hear that. What if you did have that? You're at zero. You started from ground zero. You have no revenue, but you want to create $250,000 a month in revenue. That's like, whoa, there's a gap. Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We want to get present to the current reality. And by the way, the intention is also reality. The objective is also reality. It is a reality that we're creating. It's the first creation of the reality inside where you are. So there's the current reality and the intention type reality, there's a gap between the two. And what we're looking to do is bridge that gap so that the inside reality matches up with the outside current reality. That's all we do. Okay? Just to be clear. So we want to get clear on both of these things, intention and the current reality. Then after we do that, we want to take a look at all the actions that we've taken up until now to move that objective forward so that we can accomplish that objective. Okay, what do we do? Did we create any products? We created this product and we created this service. Okay, we started a business maybe because we were at zero. We did create the LLC. We created the business. We got the bank accounts. We partnered up with some people who have talent to be able to deliver on the promise. You know, we understand what it is we want to do in the service area. So we've already framed out the business plan. We know what we want to do. All right. So we've done all these things, right? Put together systems or whatever. Now we got to get clear on, okay, why is it that I don't have the intention right now? What's really been in the way? This economy sucks. Okay, well, you just said that. That is an indication that there's some type of limiting belief that maybe the economy has something to do with your results. Yeah, that's a limiting belief. If I continue to live in a world where the economy has something to do with my results, then I'm never going to get the results I truly want. It's always going to be limited by the economy. Ooh. Somebody's dealing with that, what I just said. But they're like, but it's the truth, man. This is a hard time. These economies are hard, man. Okay. Yeah. Economy's hard. And what we really have to get with is that if you continue to let that be something that you believe, or let that be something that's there in the background of your thought patterns, then you will never have a result that you want. That's what we have to acknowledge and accept. That if you always believe that the economy has something to do with your results, then you will never get the results that you want. If you associate that with your results. I'm letting that land. This is going to be the real big deal here. This pivotal moment here is where you got to get straight with yourself about the things that you've allowed yourself to believe that get in the way of you achieving these results in life. You got to be able to see these things and say, oh man, I have been allowing this thing to persist in the back of my mind that says I cannot have what I want. Now it's time to choose something else. Let that go. Or not, and continue to have the same life. You see, the only thing that happens in these moments, this is called the moment of a choice here, right? Either you're going to have the same life or you're going to choose a new life. The new life is the intention that we're creating here, the objective that you're looking to create. That is a new life that you can have. You can only have that if you choose right now to give something up. That's hard for a lot of people. Not necessarily hard for the person that you get to be to fulfill on that intention, but it's hard for the person that you are maybe. But what do you need to give up? Right? This is the work here. Okay. Now, what shifts are needed? What shifts will be needed? Like if I were to imagine the characteristics and the traits and the makeup of the person who has that objective already, that the person that has $250,000 a month in revenue, what would be the thing that you could assimilate into your characteristics right now and be that? So that you can have that trait that delivers on 250,000. What is it? Is it discipline? Is it motivation? Is it a high degree of integrity? Is it integrity? Is it abundance? What's going to be the shift for you that will cause you to have a place of power to come from so that you can now be the one and take those actions necessary to deliver on that objective? This is going to be the thing. This is really the shift here on the inside where you are. Once you do that, now we want to start looking at through the clear lenses. Now we want to look through some clear lenses from that shift and see what's going to be the new action. What's one new action that you can take to really move things in a big way toward achieving that outcome? And once you choose that new action, you got to take it right now. Okay. Now this is a powerful place to be inside of like what we're talking about in terms of mastery of your business. But it really takes something. A lot of it deals with reality. Where are we? We need to look straight in the mirror. We need to have no skewed point of view. We want to see the thing as it is. And it takes something. Okay. It takes integrity to do this. It takes leveling up as an individual to be able to look yourself straight in the face, look into your soul and say, this is where I am. And I'm good with that. This is where I'm going. And I'm getting there no matter what. Okay. Now, all the other things will fall into place. And like we have all these tools that we're talking about. We definitely have that boot camp that's coming up next week. So, guys, I'm going to wrap this up powerfully. I'm going to urge you again. Let's go back to this other slide here. Okay. This is coming up on October 8th. October 8th of 2023. We have this QuickBooks Superhero Boot Camp. This is going to be a boot camp like no other. Okay. Make sure you're on here. If you haven't registered already, make sure you get registered. Go here to youraccountingsuperhero.com, QBO-bootcamp-registration. Get signed up today, and I will see you there. I'm looking forward to having a good time on a Sunday afternoon with you all. All right. This has been great, guys. Hope you got some value out of this session. I will see you next week on our live webinar. Take care, guys.